The President of the European Commission proposed punitive measures against Israel for the first time. In a rebuke to the Jewish state, Ursula von der Leyen criticized the military operation in Gaza, which she said has created a man-made famine. The European Commission proposed a package of sanctions against Israel is the topic of this episode of EU Decoded.
The proposed package of sanctions to be imposed on Israel by the European Commission includes suspending the trade component of the EU-Israel Association Agreement and reinstating tariffs that would correspond to an additional annual cost of 227 million euros for Israeli exports, halting transfers from the EU budget to the bilateral cooperation program amounting to 6 million euros per year scheduled for 2026 and 2027. Freezing approximately 14 million euros earmarked for ongoing projects within the scope of EU-Israeli cooperation.
Ursula von der Leyen's announcement comes just a few weeks before the second anniversary of the Gaza war. Following a string of attacks carried out by the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas on 7 October 2023, Israel launched a large military operation in the Gaza Strip. Let's hear what Europeans think of the Commission's proposal.
De faire, on va dire, prendre conscience, on va dire, un petit peu de la situation humanitaire un peu dramatique qui se déroule à Gaza, mais je ne pense pas que ce soit une mesure contre Israël ou contre les Israéliens en général.
Je doute que ce soit suffisant comme mesure. Ce serait bien de voir peut-être plus grand, de les empêcher d'avoir des armes.
Die Frage ist ja, was schwächt Netanyahu wirklich als Machthaber und in seiner Möglichkeit, irgendwie seine Entscheidungen.
Müssen wir auch mit und trotz unserer Geschichte auf das reagieren, was in Gaza passiert. Und da sind zigtausende Menschen, die sterben.
Euronews reporter Maya de la Baume has been covering this issue. Hamas still holds around 50 of the 250 hostage it captured, and Israel's military operation in Gaza killed almost more than 64,000 people. What prompts Ursula von der Leyen decision to make this announcement almost 2 years into the war?
But I think there's a climax right now in terms of pressure. You have, the United Nations on one side saying that there is a famine in the Gaza Strip. There is, pressure from everybody, from NGOs, from countries. Everybody is telling Europe needs to act. And Europe is not acting. And there's one other factor I think is very important, is that Ursula von der Leyen is German. And it's very important because Germany has been so far blocking any possibility for the EU to really come up with sanctions against Israel.
Indeed, in her announcement, Ursula von der Leyen acknowledged that it would be difficult to get everyone on board to approve these sanctions. What is the situation among member states?
To be honest, divisions are very, very deep in Europe. So you have on one side all of the countries who want to go forward with sanctions, who think that Palestine has a right to be a state. They believe in the two-state solution, and they want more action. And on the other side, you have all of the countries which also have historical ties with Israel. And I'm thinking about Germany, but not just Germany, Austria. I'm thinking also about Czech Republic. All these countries that are keen to preserve their sacrosanct link with Israel.
While thinking that they might be able to overcome that division, what would be the impact on Israel of approving sanctions, notably the suspension of the trade component in the association agreement, because the EU and Israel are close partners.
These trade components require qualified majority, and as you know, in the EU, qualified majority is a complex issue because you need large countries like Germany, like Italy, to agree and to vote for these sanctions. So if ever this happens, it would be, I would say, the end of a free trade agreement between the bloc and Israel. So concretely, it would mean maybe, tariffs, custom duties, something that Israel never had with the EU.
The measures include sanctions against two far-right Israeli ministers, Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, for inciting hatred. Sanctions will also be imposed on violent settlers who caused destruction in the West Bank. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar reacted to the European Commission's announcement by saying it was unacceptable behavior between partners.
This month, the European Parliament adopted a resolution calling for measures to end this conflict. We heard the views of two MEPs.
It's the wrong moment because we have seen, and we also say it in our resolution, that there was an improvement of the humanitarian situation. And I would like to have rather conditioned suspension or an incentivization of Israel than a punishing.
It is a question that all of us are scratching our heads as to why there hasn't been any measures at all taken against Israel. And I do believe that if we had had measures earlier, I think that that would have sent a very strong message and would have probably saved thousands of lives if the EU had have acted earlier.
We have to make sure that this new state of Palestine recognizes the right of existence of Israel, because this is the main problem in the region, and that it doesn't harbor terrorists, because we see actually also, I see also a little bit naive trust in the Palestinian Authority. We see that they still pay terrorists for their deeds.
I think the European Union should recognise the state of Palestine. But for me, the key priority has to be to stop the killing. It has to be to get the aid in and the medicine into the people of Gaza, because we need a Palestine of Palestinians in order to have a state.
I think we should be very careful also with the terms like genocide, human rights violations, war crimes in addition. And I have the firm belief that we should leave this to the international courts to decide about it. And we should concentrate, and I think there's a big agreement on that, to improve the humanitarian situation.
It's so obvious that there's a double standard when it came to the treatment of Russia, and nobody objected. I agreed that sanctions needs to be taken. It's an illegal occupation. But to then not do anything whatsoever in relation to the actions of Israel has just, I think, really damaged the European Union among citizens living within the EU.
The European Union has historically advocated for the two-state solution, with Palestine and Israel coexisting peacefully. Only 10 of the 27 EU member states have recognized Palestinian sovereignty. It remains to be seen whether Europe can act as the bloc to resolve the conflict.